What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts, and today, although it's a sad day for people who lost, their boy, and maybe a happy day that they found who did it, but what I'm kind of excited about, I was right. I don't usually like to brag about shit, but I was right. People were telling me I was wrong. I didn't know what I was talking about, in the comment sections and stuff like that. Not on YouTube, but different places. And we were right. It was a MAGA, okay? Raised by MAGA, like raised by wolves, pretty much. It's pretty much what they are. It's like wolves, because they raised them. He was raised with that mentality. He was raised to shoot weapons and cannons and shit. They raised a little military assassin, but see, they raised them for them. Okay? So if he was going to get out there and go with the Civil War, he was going to be out there on their side, the redcoats or whatever the fuck they was called. He's going to do it for them. That's what Pop raised a little runt. This little bastard was supposed to be killing other people, not his own people. That's what his dad was building. His dad had on the MAGA little shirt and shit like the one I showed you, but it had the little black flag on it. You know it. They raised this child as a MAGA. They followed Trump. And these fools was out there talking mad shit. We're going to go to war. You're already at war. Your own party's trying to kill you. You keep raising them like this. You give them validation to do what they do, and then you turn around and blame it on the libs. Libs aren't the ones running out getting guns every time somebody say they're taking your guns away. Second Amendment, they're going to take it away. No, it's you idiots running out there, but let me get this gun. Let me get this gun. Can I carry this one? Can I carry that one? Can I put one around my neck? Can I get another one? That's you. That's you. All day, every day, MAGA. That's you. And every time something happened to your party, it's crazy. At this point in time, liberals, Democrats, independents, whatever, that were never MAGA, but independents who just decided they weren't going to go with either party, not because they hated MAGA or hated somebody else, just they didn't find anything that they believed in. You guys are safe. But it's these MAGA, these Republicans that leave the party, these Republicans that are the ones. Go down the list. The last person that did something was Steve Scalise to a Democrat. Or a Democrat doing something to a Republican. All of these, Donald Trump's assassination, both Republican. Right? The ones who killed the family in Minnesota, the senator, his wife, her husband, the dog, a few other people who got shot I don't know what their deal is now. I know they were fighting for their lives. I'm guessing since they haven't reported that they're dead, they're doing better. MAGA. All of it's MAGA. It kills me. These people, they always want to tell you to find your better angel. Fuck you, telling me to get an angel. You don't know nothing about angel. I'm more of an angel, even though I cuss, than you are. Why? Because you hide behind the mask of God and Jesus, Second Amendment. You hide behind all that shit just so that you can do the devilish shit you do. It ain't nothing but a mask. You guys were bitching and moaning not about wearing a COVID mask, but you're wearing a life mask. You act like you good people. You're demons. Look what you raised. You always want to talk about poor black people committing crimes in Chicago, when it's you that's going out there mass killing people. It's you shooting human beings like they fucking buffalo. It's you. Wake the fuck up. The phone is ringing inside your house. You're raising them. You're putting guns and cannons in their hand before they even know how to have sex and shit. They can't even procreate, but they can shoot and kill something. You're putting it in their hands. You're putting the ideology of kill, kill, kill in their head. And they're trying it in real life. Instead of in video games, they're going out there trying it in real life. We don't know if this kid was trying to get him for MAGA or was he trying to score points in some fucking game online. We have no fucking clue, but we do know. It was a MAGA that raised them. Both of them. A cop was one. You raised this monster. And who else is to blame? Nobody. no liberal, none whatsoever. It is MAGA and Republicans. It is your fault that you're raising these people to kill people, and you're acting like, well, it's got to be it's mental health. Okay, then work on the mental health of young white boys. Start to understand, where is there like a young white boys anonymous, young gun white boy anonymous? Where's it at? We need to have an anonymous for shooters and enroll white boys in it, because mostly white boys are doing this shit. So if your son is a Republican and owns a gun, he needs to go to some kind of mental health to get passed for this first. How about that? Huh? What about the solutions for this shit? You guys keep on passing in thoughts and prayers. You don't even believe in God. How the fuck you asking people thoughts and prayers? Your prayers don't mean shit. How you believe in God? You were so quick to demonize liberals for something that you raised. The monsters that you raised, you want to blame on everybody else. Oh, he was something happened to him. Yeah, he was raised by you. Oh no, somebody got to him and changed his mind. No, but you created the monster that could be changed so easily. That was a simp to believe in something else, whether it be a video game that made him do it, whether it be the devil himself that made him do it. But you equipped this little bastard with the ability to be able to shoot. You threw the weapons in his hand and gave a shit about his mental health. And now you want to talk about what? Let's turn him in. Well, that's good for you. How about you turn him in before he shot somebody? Oh, you couldn't tell that, right? But if he wasn't proficient with a gun, he wouldn't have that problem, would he? All our mass shooters were raised by you bastards. Majority was raised by MAGA Republicans, and you guys want to sit here and blame Democrats. I knew from the moment that child shot somebody, a human shot somebody, in my heart of hearts, I knew he had MAGA in his system, MAGA in his blood somewhere. I just knew it. Just say it was prophetic that God was telling me, or baby yet. I just study human beings, and I realize majority of liberals are about love. They care about people. Let's just calm it down a little bit. What is the basis of a liberal? Let's just go there. What's the basis of a liberal? How is their morality system set up for the most part? Democrats and liberals, they care about people. Now, we can range in the Democrat Party from conservative, who kind of don't give a fuck about people, but kind of in a way can help them out a little bit, but not enough. They can pick us up by their bootstraps, and we can give them a little help, but not a lot. Then you go into the middle. It's like, we tit for that. We'll go from here. You sit on the fence. Then you got the just regular Democrats, not too far leftists, but got the regular Democrats. We want to create programs so that we can create jobs, so we can create opportunities, so that we can get rid of crime. And that we always want to create and solve something to help people, the majority of people. And then the far left, they love so much, they want everybody to have life just as good as they do. That's the horrible thing of a fucking liberal. What do the far left want? To kill anybody, anything, if it doesn't agree with them. So I'd rather be a far leftist than a far rightist, because a far rightist is out here shooting their own people because they don't like them. And as soon as someone that you love, MAGA, got unalived, the first thing you thought was it had to be some kind of crazy liberal. Turns out it was some kind of crazy ass Republican. MAGA Republican at that. Oh, he was a non, he didn't have any particular party. I don't care what party he had. I know he was raised around what? Everybody here. I'm not trying to disrespect everybody here. I want to ask you, everybody here, were you raised in a home that you still are in the party of, that you may have left, but weren't you a part of the party that your family was in? You were raised around it. Now, you may have got turned off because of maybe racism or sexism or homophobic or whatever. But if your family was Republican, that's what you was raised around. When you came home, you heard Republican ideals. You may have heard the N-word thrown around. You may have heard the C-word for Asian people thrown around. You may have heard this or that disrespectfully. People need to do stuff for themselves and blah, 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 while your father or mother was on welfare. You may have seen that. It's you know, something's wrong for thee, but nothing's wrong with me. Even though I'm on the same programs as thee, there's something wrong with you having it. There's nothing wrong with me having it. I was raised around Democrats my entire life. I became a Democrat. You gonna tell me this dude was raised around Republicans his entire life? And he didn't have the ideology of a Republican? Second Amendment. We got some pictures of. We got some shit that I want to show you here. We all don't seen it. We all don't seen it. I mentioned it earlier today. It was crazy. I was right about it and didn't even know it. I just had that gut feeling. I said in the video, and I wasn't 100% right. I was like 50% right. But I said, this kid kind of reminds me of the Republican, as I thought he was a Republican, or, you know, he was raised in a Republican family. And I said, this kid reminds me of, in the video, you can go look it up, the family. I bet you this dad, this police officer, had his son and everybody with a AR-15 or some shit at a Christmas picture or some craziness. I guarantee you, that's probably something. I haven't found that picture, but I have found his son and, oh, not the dad, but the son. Who has their son doing this shit here?
This is a dark day for our state.
It's a dark day.
It's a tragic day for our nation.
Up too early. Sorry, it's going.
I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
That's the governor. Let's go back to this real quick. There you go. Sorry about that. So that's his boy. Got a gun in his hand, proud of it. This is what you raised, Matt Robinson. Don't think that you ain't got nothing to do with this. You raised this. You gave him this gun as a child and told him how to shoot it. And look at him right there. What is it? A cannon launcher? What the fuck is it? Grenade? You got that little military weapon in his hand. Excited. Got a little cap on. It's strange too, because he kept his cap on and shit when he shot Charlie Kirk. Looks like he's ready to do it right now. But he had a little while. You had to train him up. Had to train him up for that little civil war you thought was going to happen there. Right there, Matt Robinson. The ideology you put into your son, it came to life because you probably talked about this shit every day. The type of shit, we're going to be ready for that civil war. Your son jumped the gun and turned it on your people. Yep. That's what you raised, sir. That's it. Right? And you got, like, you know, what you want to see to your son to be out here looking like this. Right? You and him out to eat. Those were the days, huh? Those were the days. Just a good old boy. Never meaning no harm. Yeah, you raised him like this. You didn't expect he was going to do it, but you took him out and you taught him how to shoot. Must suck to realize that you raised a murderer. And then everybody and their mama out here blaming the libs and Democrats. You guys put Democrats' lives in trouble for days. Luckily, nobody got shot or killed, but you saw so many videos of your little batshit ass MAGA minions out here talking about civil war and coming after you and making all kinds of hateful videos. This shit lives in you. It lives in you. You guys don't want to admit it until one of your own gets caught for doing it. But it's strange how if you see black people committing crime, you got that black on black crime. Black crime, black crime. Black. What are we going to do about this white on white crime, y'all? MAGA on MAGA crime. What are we going to do about it? You're going to throw this shit under the rug. This story's going to pass. Why? Because the most common thing that we see is that it's white men, young boys and white men. You guys have had privilege your entire fucking lives. What are you aggrieved about? Everybody's got poor people in their family. Everybody's had to struggle and pull themselves up by their bootstraps, just like you're saying you had to do. But we aren't all booting up, suiting up, throwing guns on our shoulder and murdering people en masse. We aren't doing that. You guys are doing it for what? And I heard Charlie Kirk, before he met his maker, literally say some shit about, you're talking about gun violence, you're talking about gang violence included or not included? Well, gang violence, let me give you a little insight to gang violence. Gang violence is gang on gang, and people who get shot by stray bullets, they weren't meant to get shot. It wasn't their plan they was going to come out and shoot little kids and fathers and grandmothers. They were coming to get the gang member that just shot up something, one of their boys, or stole something from them, or did something that took food off their plate, and they going at each other. Is it right? No. But you got to understand, fighting for turf and stupid shit like that is wholly different than having a good-ass life, a mom and a dad, which trips me out because I thought you racist white people used to say, black people need to have the mom and the dad in the home. Looks like mom and dad was there and they raised a little shit that kills people because he doesn't agree with them. And Nancy Mace, you're going to have to own this. You're going to have to own this, girl. You ain't said nothing. You came out and said this was all on the shoulders of Democrats. I think it's on the shoulder of MAGA and Republicans now. And I think you got a few videos of your own shooting guns and shit. You done raised a little of these few bastards yourself. You the one who came out that night and said, oh, my kids are so afraid and they're worried. And, because, these Democrats, just because you won't believe them. Well, Nancy Mace, when you go home tonight, if you ain't there already, watch out for your son or daughter, the one that you've given a gun, because they're going to be the ones that's going to take your ass out. You need to be scared of them. You're the one that's raising these little bastards. We aren't. They are black serial killers going out there killing people or snatching people up and sniping people. That ain't happening. We're going with survival techniques in the bad communities back and forth against each other. They ain't going out and shooting innocent people. They're shooting up. The innocent people are bystanders. They aren't the target. You people, MAGA, you're shooting people. The target is said person. And then when you decide to do mass murderers, you bring weapons of mass destruction. How many black people have you seen in the past, in history, coming with guns like that? Them damn guns, $3,500, $5,000. Poor black people ain't got that kind of fucking money. They ain't killing people like that, but y'all always want to talk about Chicago. Let's talk about white men. What is going on with y'all? It's not all of y'all, but all of y'all need to pay attention. Your son, your nephew, don't hand him a gun. You need to pay attention to that child's mental health. What games he or she is playing. Because this just willy-nilly, like it's everybody else is the problem. That shit's gone. We talk about crime in this country, and we ignore the white-on-white crime. Matter of fact, you ain't never even heard of white-on-white crime, have you? Most of you have no idea that calling something black on black was racist to begin with. They're like, oh, there you go again, bringing a race card. No race card. Ask yourself, have you ever said white on white crime? Have you ever heard Latin on Latin crime? Have you ever heard Asian on Asian crime? In your life, I don't care how old you are, if you're 70, have you ever heard white on white crime, Latin on Latin crime, Asian on Asian crime, Muslim on Muslim crime? You've never heard it in your fucking life. But why have you heard black on black crime and you didn't even thought about it being racist? You just thought about that's just what they say, isn't it? I'm like, yeah. It's so racist, it's in the fucking lexicon as if it's something that's not racist. And then you say, I'm not racist. Well, what did you say black on black crime? Is it not a racist statement or no? It's so racist that even black people say it and don't even know they fucking saying racist shit. That's how deep embedded racism is in this country. You say it and don't even know you're racist. And if you don't think it's racist, why the hell do you not say the others? Latin on Latin, Asian on Asian, Native on Native. Don't say it, do you? Probably never say it in your life. But it is MAGA raising these crazy ass kids that are going out here mass murdering people. And it's weird how you just aren't afraid of white people. I don't get it. You're more than likely white people to get killed by a white person. Does this not show and prove it? Go look at the stats. You'll see the majority of people who kill white people are white people. Yet you're afraid of black and brown. They're killing you the least. Messed that up. But still, I just want you to know that. Facts are facts. But you got to understand, people have been trained on emotion. People have been trained on hatred. And the facts don't matter. If you learn the facts, you realize you don't need to be afraid of black and brown. They ain't fucking with you. But you're afraid of them because of your history. That's why. You think they got something against you because of your history. You may feel guilty, and you may think, if I was black, I'd be fucking white people up. White people might be thinking that. But white people, black people ain't thinking that. They're like, leave us the fuck alone. Let us do our thing and quit arresting us. Quit over policing us. Let us do our thing. We don't need that shit. Live and let live. That's what most black people are thinking about. But they can't even own their own narrative. Racist white people want to tell us how we feel and think. They're going to try and get us. We ain't thinking about you. We give two shits about you. We handling our business. It's you that give a fuck about us and always in our business. Always stealing shit. Always want to come over and look over the fence. What the black people doing? Stay on your fucking side and shut the fuck up. We don't need you to do shit for us. Oh, racist ass. Don't come around our corner trying to look what we doing and then blame us for shit. I'm like, dog, we ain't got shit to do with nothing but trying to live a good life. You ain't seen black people out here trying to go and mass murder and hang white people ever. So why do you have that? Because it's a stereotype that you guys have been told by stupid ass white people just to keep you afraid. So you stay down here and afraid, and they move above you and have you afraid. They ain't afraid. You are, because that's how they control you. Got to have you pit against everybody, so therefore you don't fuck with them so they can stay rich and y'all argue with each other. Even when a rich person, white person, fires you, you mad at the Latin, Asian, or whatever person who got the next job. They didn't control the fucking job. They went in an interview, and it was a 50-50 chance or a 25-75 chance that they were going to get the job. Once they got it, cool, they're walking out, and you got a story. Oh, the black guys getting hired. The black women getting hired. It's DEI. No, how about it that they think that they can pay us less, and you all asking for more, and they kicked your ass out the door? But we ain't got shit to do with that. We qualified for the job. We should be getting the same amount of money you getting paid, but we don't. See what I mean? You guys all, and these racist people always trying to force everything on us, but it's you, MAGA. It's you. It is you. Look at the dad and their little black flag. They happy. They happy eating their Chinese food or whatever it is, probably Panda or some shit. Some Chinese or Japanese or Asian restaurant. You got the soy sauce right there. Just happy, Pop. Happy that you raised the freaking monster. But you don't see that. You don't see that. But, you know, the rest of the world sees it. If not then, they do now. Yeah, look at him. The son you raised. It's crazy how when they said a family member turned him in, most people, even the police said they think it's his dad, turned him in after going to their pastor. I don't know why they're going to the pastor. They do not believe in God. I don't know how they think they believe in God being MAGA. It makes no sense to me. They're not the type that Jesus would literally actually look at and say, yeah, that's the type of person that I'm happy that I brought into earth. Nah, I doubt it. Because you do everything opposite of him while calling his name. It's insane. But yeah, you raised him. Looks like a regular, white kid. Looks harmless to some degree. That's the scary part. He looks harmless, like the kid you probably would have invited. Y'all want to come over for pizza with the kids? Little did they know they was raising a murderer. Used a big ass bullet. I don't know about no weapons. But when I saw like regular bullets and then they said the middle-sized bullet, this motherfucker used a bullet to kill an elephant. There was no way in hell. No way in hell my man was making it out of that. That bullet ripped his ass to pieces once it hit him. He wasn't going to live after that. And this kid knew what kind of bullet he put in there, that if it hit, if it contacted him anywhere in these regions, he was not surviving. He hated him, yo. And even though I can't stand Charlie Kirk, I would never want him unalived. I'd rather debate him and make him look like an idiot. But this kid decided, I'm going to pick up a weapon. I'm going to plan it, yo. This wasn't no last minute shit. He planned this. Made this man his prey. Okay? Epstein. Definitely Epstein. But today, I'm giving them what they need to get, and then we're going to get over this. But we're giving it to them today. I'm on one today. So I really want to hear. Let me see if I make sure I close everything down. I want to hear a little Nancy Mace say her little 2 cents. And I'm waiting for her to come out and apologize to the libs, the Democrats, because she made it seem as though it was okay to act this way in the public eye. And I want to know, Nancy Mace, are you afraid of your children now? Are you afraid of your kids? Because you're raising them around guns and how to shoot. And if they get mad and don't know where to put that anger, you might want to send them to like, what do you call that? Murderer Anonymous. Because you're raising little murderers that may be murderers. Take them to Murderers Anonymous. You need to make something like that. White Murderers Anonymous. You guys have some aggrievement. Even when you got money, mom and dad in the house, you're raising little killers. And we don't know which one of you going to flip. But we do know that there's something. You guys are built different. You want weapons at all times. And you ain't nothing but anger and hate away from pulling the trigger to kill somebody just because you can't use your words. You're not strong enough to go mano a mano, use your fist. You have to use weapons. And that's why you guys use weapons a lot. Don't get it twisted. People who use weapons, for the most part, if you ain't out there just shooting targets, but people who use weapons, have weapons on them, you're always scared of something. And I always trip because most of the time in life, it's not all the time, but most of the time in life, the energy that you give is the energy that you receive. You may walk up on some crazy people every once in a while, but in my 54 years, I have not walked up on somebody that wanted to pull a gun out on me. Now, I ain't saying that ain't happened to people, but I'm just saying the energy that I give people is positive energy until you give me some negative energy. And therefore, I always have it. But see, you guys must have this gene inside of you that wants to be a dick at all times. So therefore, you got to have a weapon because of the fact you worry somebody going to fuck with you, going to hold you to account. But if you just walk through life just being good to people, you really wouldn't have to have all this fear. But that's the point, isn't it? You want to be hateful, racist, sexist, xenophobic, and you want the equalizer to be a weapon instead of your mouth. Your mouth gets you in trouble. The weapon gets you murdered, but you end up murdering the other person because you're afraid that your mouth shouldn't be saying what it's saying, but you enjoy it so much. Charlie Kirk knew he pissed people off. He knew that he was a threat. His life was a threat. Why'd he have security? Somebody had to want to kick his ass a few times. That's why he had security. But he never thought somebody was just going to snipe his ass, and especially somebody who was a part of his own party. Now, I know you'll say, oh, he was independent. He was raised Republican. We haven't seen one independent person in his life that has influenced him. They haven't mentioned it. It's only been Pops, and Pops influenced him. It's been Mom's influenced him. And his brothers and sisters, I think they're too young. So he's lived in a house filled with Republicans, Republican ideology. You don't give me this shit that this dude just automatically I became an independent and I just listened to. No. Radicalize my ass. His family's radical. I said it. And I know these media joints, they don't want to say this shit. I'm like, I say it like I see it. Now, if it turns different, I'll admit it. Here's the thing that trips me out. We could be wrong, people. just to admit it, apologize, and move the fuck on. See, you guys want to lie your way through it instead of just saying, I was wrong. You can't get a MAGA to say, I was wrong. Look at Nancy Mace. She can't say she was wrong. Right? Laura Loomer can't say she was wrong. All these other people that came out and said, Cash Patel, it can't be wrong. She just gave an update. Didn't say, my bad, I got it wrong. Let me fix this up for y'all. This is what we know now. And then again, you was wrong for putting it on fucking like social media. You was wrong just to respond on social media. Still won't admit that. But we're going to get to some stuff about one thing I realized when I watched a little bit of this press conference today. And this is why I believe in facts. I believe in being held accountable and being responsible. I was waiting to come on today and say, if I was wrong about something to admit, I said, well, I made an assumption about something, to him being in around MAGA, being possibly MAGA, stuff like that. And I was wrong, but I guessed it and I was wrong. I wasn't wrong. Well, I was wrong as far as like him being a Republican. He's a non-party person or non-affiliation, but he was raised around Republicans. The Republican ideology is what he was raised with. And that's what he was wearing, a Republican like shirt. Everybody was like looking for what the shirt was labeled and all stuff like that. And one thing I realized that people were doing is that they were going to sites whenever they could find the shirt. And as soon as they found the shirt, they were like, oh, this is for the military. This is for, retired, whatever. Like, no. A lot of people use that and they label it, whatever they label it, so that they don't get sued. There were many people using that shirt. So one was the military people. They used it and they named it a certain type of shirt. Therefore, you don't get sued for it. It's American shit. You can't just, there's no patent if it's American stuff. But if I drew that, it's my patent. It's my trademark. I own it. You can't make that shirt. But if I label it, because you'll realize if you'll find that shirt all over the internet, name something different. But that land of the free, home of the brave, that's all American shit. Nobody owns it. But if you dig into the MAGA world, they think of it as a patriotic thing, and they're the only ones that are patriots. We're traitors. January 6th is patriots. They're fighting for the country, and they wear that shit incessantly. And like I said, MAGA. I showed the one where in the video where it's a MAGA shirt that literally has "Land of the Free, Home of the Brave" flag and an eagle on the back, but it's in an emblem. It's in a round, different designs that they do, but the same thing. And MAGA wears it. So I knew this kid looking at that shirt, MAGA. And that's what they thought too, because you can only go by what you see and what you learn. They were learning more about this kid, and they were learning that he was more than a MAGA than liberal. And that's why you saw during the press conference, they started shifting away from MAGA shit. From liberal shit. The only person who kept that liberal shit in his mouth was Donald Trump. When they started dissolving the fact that, oh, wait a minute, he could possibly be, and they saw the T-shirts, like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he dressed up like that to throw us off. Raised in the family, died in the wool Republican ideology, decided he was going to vote for something else, because I think the last election, 2024 or whatever it was the first time he was, 2024, he was eligible to vote. And they don't have it, they don't release it, whether he voted or not. But 2020, they said, I don't know if he registered or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I don't know about all that part. I just know that he would have been able to vote in 2024, and they don't know what he voted for, and he's registered as whatever. But we don't know what he voted for, though. But again, raise MAGA. So let's go ahead and listen to Nancy Disgrace.
I'm going to say this. Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. All the kids of every conservative in the country called panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
You shouldn't.
Then by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Escapism.
political.
Isn't this on both
Are you
sides?
kidding me?
They're nonpartisan.
We don't know
Jerry.
what condition Charlie Kirk is in right now. Some raging leftist lunatic put a bullet through his neck, and you want to talk about Republicans right now? No.
No, I'm asking
not
you.
at all.
You said the
No,
Democrats
this
have to
is
do,
on.
but I'm asking,
Democrats own this.
But isn't there a
Democrats own
problem with
this.
political violence across the spectrum?
Yeah, we're talking
There are-
about Charlie Kirk right now. That's the subject of this that we're talking about right now. Democrats
You hear
own
him
this,
breathe hard.
100%.
He's like,
I'm gonna say this.
can't tell the trick nothing. You hear him breathe hard when she said it. He's like, he had to deal with this chick, this effer. You could tell he was done with her, man. He was done with her. Like, man, this chick right here got issues. That's what he has to deal with. He had to deal with telling her, like, lady, I'm just saying, you just had this whole attitude about certain things. Uh-oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I messed up. You just had this whole attitude about what was right and what was wrong. And then once he tell you, hey, this was right or this was wrong. Nope, don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. I'm like, ma'am, you need to come out and apologize to every Democrat and that you put Democrats' lives at stake because your MAGA minions are the mass killers in this damn country. You're the ones going out killing people because you can't argue with them because your intellect. This kid was supposed to be a straight A student. What was he taking? Home ec? I don't understand how somebody so fucking smart did something so stupid. But I do give him this. He was smarter than the Keystone Cops. Because think about this, y'all. Think about this for a hot second. And we're going to watch the presser because I got some shit to say about this presser. But anyway, think about this for a hot second. This young man, Tyler Robinson, 22, jumps up off a building, runs. And the thing that's crazy is that he ran to the street a little bit. No limp. I didn't see a limp. So he runs, gets across, wraps his gun up in a towel. I didn't even see the gun. I saw a backpack. I'm like, where'd the gun come from? Was it something he could break up in half and then put it back together? I don't know. I didn't see the gun with him when he jumped off the building. But anyway, keeps it running. On his way to the street, then he gets to walking all cool, like, what's the big deal? So he obviously couldn't have had that weapon in his hand because people have been like, what the fuck he running around with a weapon in his hand for? So he had to have it in the backpack somehow, I guess. He wraps it up in a towel and drops it off somewhere. Walks away. He didn't have his car, y'all. He left his car. So he left his car there, from what they say. Now, maybe something changed, but this is what I got from them. Left his car there, and somehow this fool gets a distance away. He's on the far end of that state. I'm like, what, he catch the bus? I mean, what'd he do? Catch an Uber? I'm like, how home he get way on the other side of town? And they got pictures of him walking through the neighborhood like he a Yeti and shit. You see the Sasquatch, he's walking and shit, limping. I'm like, okay, I can feel like, you'd be hurting jumping off the side of a building. It looked kind of high. It looked like at least 3 of his bodies. And it looks like he's 6 foot tall at least. So that's like 18 feet. That's what it looked like. I don't know, but that's crazy. He jumps off and ran. So it didn't like he hurt at first, but I guess through wear and tear of walking for a while, he walks his ass a lot of distance, and they see these Ring cameras, I guess, and they see him walking through the neighborhood. Not one of them was alerted. Once they found out that the boy jumped out the building and they had that information before they gave it to us, they still couldn't find him, yo. They couldn't find him. A night goes by. Still can't find him, but they tell us they got some clues. They just ain't gonna let us know. They was playing hide and seek with the information. We don't know, but we know, but we don't know. And you don't know because we know that we don't know. And they kept on going. And 2.5 hours later, they pop out. Well, don't look like we know what we thought we knew. So how about you help us? No shit. So you could have did this a long time ago. We probably would have caught him a little bit earlier. But no, the Keystone bumbling cops / the Three Stooges decided Okay, let's show them a picture of a kid jumping off the side of a building that we can't necessarily see. So this shit was just, why? What we gonna do with that? We don't usually see that type of information. We usually see, here's a photograph of him in a side view. That's how we help. We don't need to see this fool jumping out the side of a building. That's evidence. We don't need that. We need to find them. We got people on social media like Dinesh and Tizzy. Those Tizzy and they find people. These people, I don't ever want to be on their bad side. They find people in crazy places, restrooms, sewers. They be finding all kind of shit. Be like, how the hell did you figure that out? Don't ask. But they find people. They find people better than the police found people. And these bumbling idiots came out and gave us some non-information. Twice. Then they waited for cockeyed Kash Patel as he sat back there looking in 5 different directions with 2 eyes. Sat there and just, didn't say a word at the damn press conference. Came all the way there to say nothing. Just to take a photo op, looking 15 different directions. Looking confused as hell. And he's supposed to be a leader. We're paying too much for him. They need to get rid of his check. I know he already got money. Don't pay him. Fuck he doing there? You don't know what the hell he doing? Then they got Dan Bongino. I didn't even see him. I guess he was in the back, but I don't know. I didn't see him. Maybe y'all saw him. I was trying to look for him, but, you know, I didn't look at the full tape. Maybe he was just, they panned over and he was to his left or some shit. But then they have this heartfelt presser, especially the little, the governor there. He had his feelings because, you know, he was MAGA. He was a Republican and he was trying to be somewhat in the center. But at that very first, or was it the second? No, it was the first, I believe, press conference. I got that shit. I got that because that's when I showed you, I think, yesterday. It's like 4.5 minutes or some shit like that. But I want you to notice something. We're going to watch this, but I want you to notice something. And this is why I tell you, people who don't watch me often, there is such thing as white privilege. It really is. And there's another thing as MAGA privilege. They're creating their own little privilege. I'm going to show you kind of like what I'm talking about. Thank you, Scott, for the donation of $5. I appreciate you. If anybody else gave it, let me see. Is that West? Thank you. I appreciate it. Far right extremist follower of Nick Fuentes. Thank you for letting me know that. I got to check that out. Is it Westwood? Thank you for the donation. All right. So let's listen to this governor talk about his situation, about when he found out Charlie Kirk was shot. I don't think they knew he was dead just yet. I'm not sure. In this first one, can't remember. He may have already known and just said it in here, but he's hurt because this is a dude he looked up to. And I get it. You know, we all have people we look up to and they die. It's a sad thing. And I get it. I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying, listen to the way he speaks now.
This is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Is it really? He's definitive. I wonder if he ever says he was wrong and recants that.
We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. Mm-hmm. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence.
249.
That this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. Mm-hmm. And today, a life was taken.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so he was dead already.
Charlie Kirk was first and foremost
turn volume down, kid.
A husband and a dad to 2 young children.
Look at it, you say it, and I get it.
He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people.
Aren't you here for a press conference instead of a resume or something?
Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is
Right,
foundational
what's that got to do with
to the
anything?
formation of our country.
Now I'm gonna give you why this is coming out. I believe he don't have nothing. There's nothing to talk about. He got shot. He died. We don't have nothing. So this press conference should have been no press conference. You didn't have shit yet, other than coming out and said, we understand that he's been shot. Further information is coming down. We're doing an investigation. Here's what we have. Here's what we need. Maybe the photo should have came out then, that if they had it, but they didn't have it. We have information that's coming in really quick. We got to get back to the command center. But what questions you have? Don't know that. Don't know that. Don't know that. Peace. We'll have a press conference when we know something that's definitive. All right, bye. No more press conferences. But no, they had another one that had nothing to do with nothing. Then they had another one. It's like, what the fuck? But yeah, this is why he has nothing.
To our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now, to whoever did this, we will find you.
No, you won't. You'll find
We
you.
will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
I'm about killing him.
Our nation is broken.
Y'all broke it.
We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota.
This ain't one of them.
We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania.
That's one.
And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States.
That be two.
Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken.
Of course not, especially when you stay in denial and think it's something that it isn't before it came out. What did I say? The only information that you had is that somebody murdered him, but you have no idea who did it. So therefore, you should have never went down this political realm because, again, that's inciting something. This is the thing about officers and mayors and people in power. They don't know how the fuck to de-escalate. They literally escalate all the time. But you know, when it becomes in their mind, it's one of us. It's weird how de-escalation and these inspirational speeches come out of their spirit about the same person who killed their person. When they find out they're MAGA, let us come together. Really? When you thought it was a Democrat, just know that we're going to kill you, boy. Just know. That's the message he was giving, trying to get it all politically. But he's saying, we're going to murder you when we catch you. The governor. Does he have that same smoke, that fire in his belly when he finds out it's one of his? We'll see.
Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting,
What you gonna do?
I would beg you to look in the mirror
Well, what?
and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere.
How you gonna talk about better angels and you already done condemned the entire fucking party of people. You done talked about it. Whoever did it, in your heart of hearts, you had to explain who he was. I'm sure your MAGA guy who killed him knew all of what Charlie Kirk was. You guys jumped to conclusions. You're an officer. You should, or you're a mayor, so you can't really be fired. But you should. You're the police department. If they followed your lead and they gave you this information, somebody need to be fired. Because you guys jumped to conclusions way before you got any information. You put people's lives at risk, yet though you're supposed to be in a position of being a police officer and calming shit down, or being a leader of a state and calming shit down. But no, you escalated it. And you learned it from your little orange queen, Donald Trump.
I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American.
He's talking about he don't care what Charlie Kirk's policies were. He cares that he's an American. Still got the volume down? That's okay. We got to go through this, man. Hey, look, this is the time when you need to tell them that it's them and that they need to fix them. I know they ain't going to watch this, but this will be around for a while. This video is going to be around long after I'm dead. So they need to know, history needs to know that this is the type of people that these MAGA white people were raising.
We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be.
Exactly.
To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us?
249, man, get it right.
I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Cook stood for,
Cook or Kirk? Why do you keep saying
will
that?
put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans.
Excuse me, sir. It was you. It was your people. Why don't you guys look and find your better angels? You realize that this man said we still had a death penalty, and then turned around and said, you got to find your better angels. So you talk about killing somebody that you don't know who the hell it is, but you assume that it is a liberal. But you give this little message that you're going to kill whomever it is. You're going to try and seek murder for murder. Eye for an eye. Okay. And then seconds later, you need to, if you laughed about this, you need to find better angels. Well, we laughed about it. You threatened to kill him. And you want us to find, I didn't laugh about it though, but I'm saying some liberals did, I saw it. And some Democrats did, I saw that. But they laughed about it. They didn't go out and murder nobody. And they weren't talking about to go kill the shooter either. You were. And you're telling them to get better angels after you sitting there talking about you going to kill the person who did it. Why don't you find a better angel, sir? Telling everybody that they laughed, they demons, but you want them dead and you're not one. It kills me how in the same fucking tongue, in the same fucking like couple sentences, this dude went from I'm going to kill him to you guys who made fun of it need to find your better angel. I tell you, these people don't believe in God, bro. They believe in themselves. They believe they're God, that white people are God, and that you're praying to them or something, because this shit makes zero sense if you really believe in the Bible. It's about forgiveness and love and empathy and sympathy, something that Charlie Kirk couldn't muster. He thought weakness was in empathy and thought it was some kind of tool by the Democrats. And I'm like, that's God. That ain't got shit to do with Democrats. It has everything to do with you saying you're a Christian. Christianity is all about empathy and sympathy. That's what Jesus was, love, having love for your brothers and sisters, no matter what they look like, no matter what kind of shit they've done. In the Bible, if you believe in it, Jesus was hanging around with the people who were more like criminals. Yeah, you know, lepers and people of the night and sinners. He was putting their ears back on, washing their feet. Yeah, that type of God. That's Jesus. That's closer to God. But you guys ain't nowhere near that. There's only one party that even comes close to getting there, and that is a Democrat party. That's the reason why I'm in it. I know they got some whack ass other shit going on and dealing with power too, but they're the only party that gives a fuck about anybody else but other than white men. They may not do more than we want them to do, but there ain't a damn thing that the Republican Party has done for black people, for Asian people, for Latin people, but cause fucking problems. At your behest, Latin people are in dog cages. At your behest, Latin people are flown to other countries just because they have a tattoo of mom and dad on them. On your behest, Republicans, the first time Donald Trump was there, you separated mothers from their babies on purpose just so that you can make them not want to come back, and you couldn't find 1,500 of them when it was time for them to go. Their babies are wandering around this country. If they're still alive, they have not seen their babies since. Your party derived that shit. And you're closer to God? Jesus was an immigrant. So you're more like the people who killed Jesus than the ones who worshiped him. I mean, come on, am I lying? Where am I lying at? You don't care about nobody but yourself. That's not Jesus. You want to control people. Jesus didn't control nobody. He gave us free will. So how the hell are you anywhere near Jesus or God? If God was a demon, oh yeah, you his best friend. But he's not. You don't have anything angelic about you. You want weapons of mass destruction so that you can take life, not give it. But you're closer to Jesus and God. I get it. You're delusional is what it is. You've co-opted God so you can continue being the demons that you've been probably your entire life, going and praying away the demon. And God ain't taking away your demons because you still got them. The only reason y'all going to church is to ask God for forgiveness for you being a demon. Other than that, can I get in, Jesus? None of y'all have gotten into heaven. I can guarantee you that. None of you. Why? I done said it many times. You ain't been here before. You worship a false idol. Jesus was brown. In your church, if there's a white Jesus, you ain't making it to heaven, bruh, sis. You just ain't. You've been worshiping the wrong person. You better find a brown one. Start worshiping him or her. I mean, him or her. Start worshiping him, and maybe you'll get into heaven. Depends on the rest of your deeds. But that big one where he says, thou shalt not worship a false idol. Oh, yeah. You got a false idol up in your church and your pastor telling you to kneel on it. He's sending you straight to hell every time you kneel and look up at that white man. And the thing that's tripped out, the story is like, here's the tea. I don't even deal with tea. I'm being comedic. Here's the tea, ladies and gentlemen. It is said in history, I'm not 100% sure on this one. I can't give you facts because I didn't know him. I wasn't boys with him. But it is said that the man that you worship was gay. He was a lover of one of the painters. So you're worshiping a gay man that happens to be white. That ain't Jesus. And you say that Bible is about, oh, something wrong with gay people, but you worshiping a gay dude. That shit's hilarious. Comedy. Go look it up. It said that that's who he is. But either way, whoever the hell he is, he ain't Jesus. Because it says hair of wool, a skin of bronze. That man paler than alabaster. There's no way in hell. And he can't get a tan with blue eyes and that damn white. Come on, white people, y'all know that. You getting like lobster tans, but you ain't getting no brown tan. Jesus could be trash. I don't know what he is. But I can tell you he ain't white. I can tell you that much. But that's the point. So ain't no like supreme being. These people literally want to call themselves supreme by worshiping a false idol, acting like they're going to get into heaven when you actually doing the shit that God says there's no way you can enter heaven. One of the biggest sins. Worshiping somebody other than him. You done replaced him with somebody else. You're like, who the hell y'all worshiping? That ain't me. Y'all going straight to hell. You go, as soon as the casket closed, you just burn up. Get the fuck away from me. Talking about Jesus. You were some white dude. That ain't me. Jesus throwing y'all up out of heaven. You be up there knocking on the door. Be like, get up off my stairs. Oh, yeah, worshiping that gay dude. What's up with you? He ain't got no problem with gay people. We created them. I'm just making fun. But anyway. So That's what that kills me about that. It really kills me. It's hypocritical. You don't believe in God. You believe in the ideology. Because if you believed in God, you would believe that these immigrants are just like him, seeking a better place for the world to be. These people are coming to take care of their families just like you are. You're the hateful ones. And there's no hate in God. God is love. So if you can't find love for others, then you can't find Jesus or God. So quit saying that you believe in him. It's hypocritical. You can't believe in something that doesn't exist in your own heart. I'm just saying. That's just what it is. And you guys try to say Charlie Kirk, oh, he was a God, he's a child of God. No, he wasn't. No, not the way he talked to people, not the way he was disrespectful, the way he was hateful, the way he said about God's children and I mean people like women and men, what they can do, your body, my choice type of thing. That type of shit that he was agreeing with. Nope, can't be of God, hating on what God created. That just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't. So anyway, let's continue. This man, that's what he had that smoke for. He had that smoke. And then this is how he came out today. You got to turn your audio down again, bro. Turn your audio down again. I'll play it.
This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops.
Shut up, cockeyed. What the fuck he talking about? This is what happens when you say the cops. The lollipop kids. Shut the fuck up. This fool literally saying that's what you do when you get good cops. What? Include an incompetent fuck like yourself in the press conference? Coming there and doing absolutely shit. And then he's here. I saw the press conference. I'm not going to show it. What did he do? Kissed the ass of Donald Trump, left the podium and came back. Oh, I forgot to kiss some more asses. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's right. And I think that I like this person and this person did well and this person did well. And I thank you. Shut the fuck up. You shouldn't be in your fucking job. You shouldn't even be a fucking bathroom attendant. I wouldn't even trust the towel you gave me to clean my hands. Dipshit. This dude gonna come out. Oh, thank you. That's what happens when you do. Man, I wish I saw him face to face. Oh, I wish I saw him face to face. I ain't one of these people to be like, what are you? I'm like, man, fuck you. Who the fuck gave you a job here?
The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the vice.
The fuck has Trump got to do with anything? It's just kissing ass for no reason. Donald Trump should have not been the first person that gave this to America. It should have been the FBI, the people who were doing the fucking work, the police office, the police department, but the FBI sitting behind them. Every press conference has been this way. And you wonder why people say it's a fascist country. You literally give the president information as if he is the head of the fucking FBI. You didn't want to steal the thunder from Donald Trump, so Donald Trump is the one that gets to go on a press conference and tell everybody on Fox, yeah, we caught him 5 minutes ago. I got this message. Bitch, you knew a long time ago. This dude came in at 10 o'clock last night. He did not tell you 5 minutes ago, bitch. Oh, I can't stand these lying ass people. They got him in that department at 10 o'clock last night. At 10:01, ain't even 10:01. At 9:30, when they picked his ass up or when he decided he's going to drive his ass in, Donald Trump knew then. That's why the press conference was the way it was. When he came there, he already had this information. Called me 5 minutes before the show. Oh, I can't stand these lying ass people, man. And you wonder why we can't stand MAGA. You guys lie for no fucking reason. You could have easily said, I'm on the show today because last night he turned himself at 10 o'clock and we got him, we think it's him and blah, 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 blah. Nope. He had to make up a lie for no fucking reason. Just like he cheats at golf for no fucking reason. Cheats in life for no fucking reason. It's just he loves to cheat. It ain't got shit to do. I don't even think it's got shit to do with winning. It's just cheating. I love to cheat. And when you cheat, that lets you know that there's some mediocre non-qualified pieces of trash running our government. You got to cheat to win. Why don't you work off your merit, bruh? I forgot. You don't have them. You don't have them. Cash Patel don't have them. There's no merit. This man don't know what his job is, and he's out here wagging his tail trying to figure out what the hell to do. So all he's going to do is thank you and thank you and thank you, and that's what happens when you get... I get tired of the little niceties that reporters and news stations give to people. I'm sick of that shit. I want to be raw with you. Why the fuck it take you so long, bro? You want to come out here and act like it took a short time. Sir, it did not. Why did you turn out those pictures way later? You came on early in the morning, talking about you got information and pictures and you didn't present them. What the fuck was that press conference about? 2 hours later, you got the pictures. You had them 2 hours before. You could have had 2 hours of people giving you the fucking... Oh, yeah. You just look at it and be like, man, there are too many qualified people out there that deserve a job, that can do this job, no matter what race they are. They can get this job done, and very well, I might add. But this administration and MAGA is incessant about hiring idiots. They're consistently hiring idiots, slow people, cockeyed people, just sitting around not knowing what the fuck they're doing. He had no clue what he was doing there. He was there for show. He did absolutely nothing to help. There was no reason for this man to be behind them. And it ain't because I got something against him. I'm just saying, just every time we've had this happen in American history, this shit only comes up at the very end. He should have never been there when they had no information. Why are you back there? Because it was your friend. And even then, as a detective or a police officer, if you know any in your life, they will tell you that if anybody gets harmed or is arrested for something and they cool with you, you got to pull yourself from that case because it becomes personal. And if it becomes personal, that means there's too much of an opportunity for that police officer to do something maybe highly illegal, maybe, unethical, just so they can get their friend out of trouble or they can make up something. You are out of this. Cash Patel is his friend. He should have never been near this case. Nowhere near it. His assistant, Dan Bongino, if he didn't know him as well, he should have been the lead on that. So he could keep his emotion out of it and let them do their job. But that wasn't the case. That's because MAGA is a bunch of idiots. And it's not because I just say it to be saying it. They keep proving it. Ask any person in the military or anybody that's ever worked as a police officer. Ask them if I'm lying to you. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I don't know if he has real eyes or not. I just don't like the dude. Just by the shit that... The type of person he said he was when he was on his little podcast, he done flipped 180. He was batshit crazy then, but he acted like he wanted to do right in his weird little way. But now that he's in office, he's become a part of this whole cabal of lying to people. He knows that Donald Trump's in the Epstein files, and he knows how deep Donald Trump is in this shit. But just like you see right now, he's out here kissing Donald Trump's ass when there's no need to be. Donald Trump didn't do anything. Donald Trump had nothing to do with this. But he's going to try and somehow ease Donald Trump into it because they're trying to get him a Nobel Peace Prize or some kind of trophy. You're supposed to be attached to the Constitution. You shouldn't be a pimple on Donald Trump's ass. And that's the sick part about it. You see somebody there's a grown-ass man hugging the shit out of a white dude's pimple on his ass instead of being a man and standing on his own 2 feet and doing shit right because he is good at his job. He's clinging on to somebody. And these Klingons need to go. You need to know your fucking job. And when you're asked to do shit for Donald Trump and it doesn't fit the protocol, you shouldn't fucking do it. Stay independent instead of a sycophant. So we can't trust shit you say.
President and the entire White House, who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for
No, you did.
Charlie.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard.
Listen to this dude.
Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here.
Pat themselves on the back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Solid 90 minutes.
I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share
Do we have a choice, bro?
a few more
Just
thoughts
talk.
about where we are and how we got here and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals, the foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been. Mm-hmm. As sad as I have ever been. Mm. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back.
Really?
I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, mm-hmm. and all across the country.
Yeah.
As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie.
Of course they did. That's why this fool shot him. It's again, this is such bullshit. This dude has got, before he had like, I'm going to kill him. But, he kind of be political about it. We're going to give him the chair, whatever we can give him type of thing. But that's when he thought it was a political violence type of thing where it was, you disagree with his viewpoints, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he thought more than likely it was a brown person or a Latin person. I don't know if I got it right here, but when he said, I don't know if I got it in this part of this video, but I'm going to mention it anyway. He said he was hoping, this man right here was hoping that it was not one of us that took out Charlie Kirk. And then he goes on to talk about, maybe somebody, I guess, from Russia or some other country Why would another country want to do it? That right there was a cover-up. Because why would another country want to kill him? He doesn't even go to other countries that we know of. So, my perspective of what he was saying, based upon his previous statement, talking about we're going to kill him, basically, but in a more politically, less charged way. But I just want to remind you, we got the death penalty in Utah. And that's his tough way of saying we're going to kill you. And then now, it's all this somber, we are the world type of shit. We got to come together and figure it out. And our young people, they loved them, and then but they hated them too. And what he said is that he wished it wasn't one of us, and it turns out it was one of us. And he tried to make it seem like it was American as opposed to like Russian. But in all honesty, he was saying it was a MAGA instead of a liberal. Because this was not an international murder that we would have thought of. It wasn't like he found a Russian gun or a Russian, message or something like that, or Chinese message or an immigrant message at all. It wasn't written in Spanish or nothing like that they found. They was hoping that it can bring fodder to this throw some kindling onto their racist, fascist ideology, so they could say, yeah, we got to get rid of these immigrants because they're killing people and they killed our leader. No, he doesn't have that type of anger anymore. He went through all that anger because he thought that entire time it was somebody that either looked like us or thought like us, which was against the way he thought. Now that he found that this person came from inside the house, now he's got some sympathy or empathy for the guy who killed him. He's got a little empathy for the guy who killed him. And so he's going to have this speech for the young, and we have to agree to disagree and have cordial conversations and all this other enlightenment shit, trying to reach out to these other MAGA without saying it's MAGA. So therefore, it's not a situation where I'm speaking to all of you. You ever have that situation? I hated this growing up. I hated this with all my heart. I'm gonna tell you right now. And I know people who've been in management. I know y'all were trained this way. I was even trying to be trained this way, but I still didn't keep it. I'm like, fuck all that training shit like that. But the thing that bugs the shit out of me is that the people who are responsible should be having this message read directly to them. This man should come out and be like, it turns out he was raised in a Republican household. He wasn't a liberal. We can't find anything that has anything to do with being a liberal around him, except for the message of fascism and something like that. But that turns out that particular statement that he said with fascism is inside of a video game, which he played a lot. So as far as we know, he was radicalized by video games and decided to go out and pull off what the video game was training him. We don't know exactly. We're still trying to figure it out. But what we do know, he wasn't a liberal. We know he was raised by two Republicans and they both voted for Donald Trump. We understand that. Now there's something wrong. Girls and boys, ladies and men, women, ladies and gentlemen, we need to speak within our party. Republicans and MAGA, we have to understand that this is a majority Republican and MAGA issue. We understand that Democrats have their thing, but we can't talk to them the same. Democrats aren't going to listen to us. MAGA is going to listen to us. And as a MAGA, I need to speak from the heart and say to you, we need to stop this violence. We don't listen to what the Democrats and independents are saying or woke or whatever. We need within our own home, in our own house, to clean it up. We can't look over there and tell them to stop being something that we aren't ourselves. So at this press conference, I want you to know it was not the liberals were sorry for putting that on you. It had nothing to do with you. This is in our own home. And mothers and fathers out there, your sons, they love guns. We've trained them. We've taken them hunting. We need to work on their mental health. And the reality is this is mostly white men. So us white men have got to step the fuck up and help our white boys out. Because for some reason, they feel it's okay to take a life, even one that they liked at one point and hate at another. They need to work their words out instead of their bullets. It is a we problem, not a them. It's a we. And until we come together and figure that out, our boys, And some of our girls are going to end up taking some of our lives because we're the ones that's training them to use these weapons responsibly. And they're using them irresponsibly. So we got to figure something out. That's how MAGA should work. But see, they don't take responsibility. They don't like accountability. They like to push shit off on everybody else so that they never have to be dealt with. They can continue being the tyrants, the evil people that they are, while blaming it on everybody else and their mama. And that's why the problem is never solved. These gun shootings are mostly MAGA people, Republican people, and gun-toting people. And you can't fix it until you come to a conclusion that you are the problem. And the only way you can fix it is you have to admit and take accountability, just like anything else. If you are an alcoholic, you are a drug addict, you are a sex addict, if you are an addict, period, in any way, shape, or form, the only way you get over your addiction is that you have to admit that you have one. White men, you can't admit you have a mental problem in your culture. And if you can't address it or admit it, it's going to continue. If you keep on blaming it on everybody else, look over there at the black people, look over there at the immigrants, look over there at the white people, the white men that have been privileged in this country and feel it's okay to take the lives of other people, even other white people, when they feel upset or aggrieved. You need to learn how to deal with your anger. You need to learn that sometimes you're going to lose, but you can come out a winner if you learn to deal with your anger, your depression. You've had every opportunity in life that no other race has ever had, yet you got some kind of grievance for what? Black people are poor too. Latin people are poor too. Everybody's got their story. But somehow you're more aggrieved than anybody else, even though you're the most privileged person on the fucking planet. And if you can't admit your kids are sick, then it'll never be fixed. And that's what you love doing. You'll never admit that white people, you have a problem within your culture, and it is the far right, boys mostly. And you keep saying boys will be boys instead of holding them accountable for their fucking actions. Instead of sending them to therapy to make sure their mind is right. I've seen, and many of my friends who are white raise their kids. I don't tell them what to do, but they allow them to do any and every fucking thing with no responsibility. And that boys will be boys shit is said so often in the household, it's sickening. And then when your boy does what this boy did, you can't blame nobody but yourself and that child. Because had you held that kid to account, had you taught him or her, mostly him's responsibility and accountability, he probably wouldn't have took nobody else's life. He probably would have dealt with the issue from within. But see, he got to be a man. He can't cry. He's strong if he act like you idiots. The moms and the dad Republicans. He can't be wimpy like a liberal. He had to hold it all in. And what'd he do? End up taking one of your own. Your dear Charlie Kirk. And until you take responsibility for your own actions, there's no fucking way it's going to end. So why aren't Republicans and MAGA coming out and saying they're sorry to the liberals? And this charged information that they had, this energy they had, this smoke that they had, needs to literally go toward their own? Yeah, because they can't take accountability or responsibility. They have to push it off. Nancy Grace owes the Democrats a huge apology. She needs to tell the world it wasn't them, and she also needs to take accountability for their actions. These white boys, some white girls, and some trans, and some black, and other races, when they pull things of this nature, you have to understand you're putting a gun in their hands. You're training up this soldier, and you're forgetting to deal with this part of them. You're teaching them hate, some of them, and they don't know how to deal with it. Just because you've learned it and you've been able to control it doesn't mean your child will. So dad, mom, Republican of Tyler Robinson, you got to take some responsibility, because this boy became who he was through you. He believed in what he believed through watching you. And he either learned to hate the way he learned to hate by watching how you learned to hate. Nobody's saying that he didn't become a man and went his own direction. But the reality is, there's nothing that shows this boy was ever a liberal. But you want the liberals and the Democrats to take responsibility for what you raised. And MAGA, you didn't raise him individually, but your ideologies are the same. So that's a part of your family. You would have welcomed him in at any rally had he been there, and he would have been like family to you. His ideals are your ideals. And until you look inwardly and stop pushing everything out to everybody, the shit ain't gonna never be solved. And you're gonna continue blaming everybody. Look at Donald Trump. He's damn near 80. He's one of those white boys that they said boys will be boys. And look at all the damage he's caused. And look how many times that he fucked up and you did not hold him accountable. Grabbing women by the vaginas, you let it go. Boys will be boys. Raping a woman in a Bergdorf dressing room, boys will be boys. Somebody will walk up to him and kiss him and just gotta do it because I love to kiss him. Boys will be boys. Everything this man has done illegal because he is a white man and a part of your MAGA bullshit, boys will be boys. And before he became MAGA, he was a part of that rich culture that said boys will be boys. Every time he fucked up, his dad popped up another million or two and said boys will be boys. You have raised these people. And when they fuck up, you let it go. And when they cause an insurrection and people die, you can't admit it because you're the one that created that monster. And if you admit that, that means you're the one that lifted him up. You're his foundation. You're the rock that he stands on. That's why he said, if I shoot somebody on 5th Avenue, you'll let him go because you don't take responsibility. And he knows his entire life, no white person has allowed this man to be responsible for his fuck ups. They've always whitewashed that shit. Wax on, wax off. And that's the reason why this country is the way it is. And that's why we're going in the direction we're going to go in. That's why Charlie Kirk is dead. That's why the woman and man, I'm sorry, I forget their names, the Democrats, that's why they're dead, because you haven't held these white men responsible for their fucking actions. You keep saying boys will be boys. And when shit hits the fan and it's time for them to go to jail, you want to blame everybody else and their fucking mama but you. Look in the fucking mirror. You are the problem. You are the solution. Figure it the fuck out and keep us out of that shit. That's in your household. MAGA, that's in your household, not ours. All right. What we got? I went off on a tangent there. It came from my heart, my spirit. I'm telling you, bro, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them blaming everybody and their mama. Take some responsibility for your fucking actions. I promise you, if it wasn't against the law, every time a Republican just said, but what about this? When they hit that whataboutism, I promise you, they should slap the taste out their mouth. But what? Shut the fuck up. Your responsibility. What did you do? What did you do wrong? But somebody, shut the fuck up. What did you do wrong? Tired of you blaming everybody else. Well, my mom was just, I don't care about what she did. What did you do wrong? And take responsibility and accountability and shut the fuck up with somebody else. The first thing that comes out their mouth is look over there. I'm looking at you. And if your mom, your dad, your reverend, your police officers in your community had done that shit when you was a little snotty-nosed bastard, you'd be a better human being today. But you're not, because nobody held you account to who the fuck you should be. You grew up to be a piece of shit because everybody around you, instead of wiping the shit out of you, they kept stuffing you with more shit. That's why you're a shitty human being. Clean that shit out, and maybe one day you'll reach heaven. But there's no way in hell evil people who've never been held account, that continue to break the laws and the rules, are the ones who are going to make it into heaven. There's no way in hell. If your pastor's saying that, he's talking bullshit. Leave him, because he's leading you a wrong way. There ain't enough praying something away that you have an iniquity in. You can't go and say, Father, forgive me for being an asshole, and go next day and be an asshole and come back 6 weeks and say a prayer and ask it again. Look in your Bible. Iniquity. If you continue doing the same things and telling God that you're not going to do it again, but you continue to do it, you cannot get into heaven. That's your book, not mine. You guys don't follow it because you don't believe in it. You use it to be an etch and sketch. Fuck up, Jesus fix it. Fuck up, Jesus will fix it. He's not fixing it for you. You fix that shit. That's the free will part. All right. Let's listen to this dipshit say some more.
And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Mm-hmm. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence.
Sorry. Sorry, that right there didn't make no sense, really. The first thing that popped in my head, I know it's wrong, but the first thing that popped in my head, he said, if people stop talking, that's when you get violence. This man said, are you talking about the black people, the gang members who are violent, mass murders or whatever? He said, is that including or not excluding gang violence? The minute he stopped talking is when he got shot. Exact words. He said, when you stop talking, that's when the violence happened. As soon as that man finished, violence of black people, or crime, whatever, with gangs, sat back down, put the mic down, and bow, got shot. Stop talking, violence happened. It's kind of weird how he said that, and it really matches.
He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay.
My stupid glasses.
He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible
Screaming at my TV.
for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns.
That's enough. I'm done with this shit. This dude trying to sound like he a pastor or a priest, and it doesn't make any sense. I had more for that, but I'm like, I don't want no more of this crap. So this man, let me get back to seeing you guys. Get your messages back up here. The reason why I wanted to even show this, and I was going to show it to the end, was that this higher angel stuff really came about in strength of all these messagings, things like that. We're going to hold him to the highest end of the law. In this speech, he said we will charge him, but in this speech, he has this very somber tone. Real or not real, I don't know. I can't think on his heart. But what I can tell, I believe it's real. But what I can tell from that is that type of love and kindness in his heart wasn't there when he thought it was a liberal, when he thought it was a person just against their way of thinking. It was once he realized that it was one of him. It was somebody who was like his boy. You see, he couldn't fathom when he said before the death penalty, that boy was anything like his family, because he wouldn't have wanted to kill his own son. He thought it was an other when he was talking about killing whomever it was. Thought it was a Latin person, Asian person, black person, but somebody different. A liberal, but somebody different than what resides in his own home. His son or daughter, his children. He didn't think they were like his kids. Couldn't be anybody like us. We're better than that. Us white Republican conservatives, MAGA, we're better than that. We always want to get rid of crime. No, you want to hide the fact that you're the biggest criminals on the fucking planet and then get everybody afraid of criminals that don't look like them. When the people they should be afraid of, and this proves it, are the ones inside their homes. After all, proximity crimes is what the worst crime there is. The majority of the people who will kill you or harm you live in your community or look like the people in your community. But this man wanted to feel all, with God or close to God. This whole 6, 7, 8 minute speech he had. This is second time. He got up the first time and talked for a few minutes, and here he's got this better angel. And let me report what Charlie Kirk said. You know what's so trip is that these phrases that he's saying is things that he said to a fellow MAGA. See, we didn't get to witness this enlightened Charlie Kirk. We got to witness the one that talked down about women. They were worthless, so to speak. And we got the Charlie Kirk that talks shit about people of color, saying that we commit more crimes when it's obviously mostly white men that commit more crimes in this country, and they're the highest mass murderers and all this other shit. This man went and literally found stats to try and make himself right that black people and other people are worse than white men, and it's not true. He conflated facts. 13%, he calls 50% of the crimes. He's smarter than that. That's why he couldn't find anything that made us worse than him. So he had to go and report the fact that black people are over policed. That means they're arrested more often. If you got 30 fucking cops in a small little area, they're arresting for a little bit of everything. That means black people are going to jail more. But we're 50% of the people that are exonerated, which means they're putting us in jail 50% of the time we shouldn't be there. We're let go. What's remaining, we don't know what percentage of those people still commit the crimes, because some of them even get off. Some of them go to jail for a long ass time and find out 30 years later they were innocent. That happens mostly to people of color. So when you have police stats that literally go out and arrest more black people, charge more black people, send more black people to jail for shit they didn't do, of course it looks like they're more crime, because they have less police officers in your communities. They let more of your white people go. You know how many white friends I got that was driving home drunk and they never got a DUI? Police officers literally, and these are different white friends. They don't even know each other. They both told me these stories. I don't have one black friend with this story. Maybe I do now here. But every white friend I got has this story either about themselves or a family member. Oh, that's happened to me a couple of times. Or, oh, that happened to my uncle. Where the police officer who stopped them while they were drunk driving and asked them, how far you live from here? I was at home. I'm about 3 blocks that way on N.O.M.A.D. Can't barely even walk. 2 officers in the car. One gets out, drives his car. He's in the passenger seat. They drive him home, get him to his door, and tell him don't drink and drive no more. I don't know one black person with that in their life that has ever had that. So the fact that I know at least 3 that know stories about even their uncles or aunts who had that type of situation, that means, at least in my life that I know white people, 10 white people should have a DUI on their record. but did not because the white cop drove their ass home. If that doesn't tell you how often that white people should be either in jail or held or have a bad record or have something on their record and get let go, then when you talk about these stats really don't matter. They're really jaded. Because there should be, if I got 10 in my life and the stats are like something to like 800 to 1, so if I have 10, it's like 800 times that much. That's how many white people there should be having a record that don't have one. There is no black person I know has letting go for something that egregious, driving drunk. Maybe for a speeding ticket, yeah. But DUIs? Hell no. I don't know one. That proves when we talk about critical race theory, that's what it's about. Is it true that more black people go to jail for crimes that white people get let go for? Hell yeah. In the droves. So when you look at these stats, they're really jaded. Because if you really want to do it, think about how many times they get let go compared to us. And if we get charged for it, then our numbers rise. If they get let go, their numbers decrease. How do you trust a system that lets a white person go for something but puts a black child in jail for 10 years for it? A white kid raped a white girl by a trash dumpster. Here he is just riding the shit out this girl who's knocked out, getting his rocks off. Two guys come up and say, what the fuck is he doing there? The trash can knocks him off. He takes off running. They grab him. They beat him. He's what is he? He was a freshman or something like that, had a scholarship for swimming. His father goes into the white judge and says, I don't think my son should be punished. He's got a good life ahead of him. And they let this fool go. If that doesn't show you how often these horrible ass kids, specifically white, get let go for shit, you can't really look at these stats and realize that they're real. They're really altered and fake stats, to be honest, but that's all we got to go off of. But if people of color were treated fairly, the numbers for white people being in jail and having police records would skyrocket. And they know that. That's the reason why they let you go. Because you can't be the demonized one on the planet of mostly white people. You got to demonize others. So you arrest everybody else, and specifically black people, because that's the demon that you've decided to cause and say, this is a person who's a demon. These people are bad people. And those are the people who get it the most. It's a game. It's a racket. There's money behind it. There's racism behind it. And if you don't believe me, ask people in your family or people that you know that may be white in your family, how many times the cops let them go? And then ask black people and brown people how many times they've been let go. And you will see a vast fucking difference. So I just want you to know that. I just want you to know that. That's so that we can be honest about this shit. And the only way it's going to change, again, put it out in the open. Put it out in the open, and that's how we can fix stuff. But you don't want to fix it. I ain't saying you personally, but people don't want to fix it. Oh, thank you, Demetri. I appreciate the donation, $20. I appreciate it. If you can't admit it, we can't fix it. This country, this world could be so much better once we admit our faults, good or bad, accept the responsibility and accountability, and change. And then we can live in a better place. But the longer people like this person who killed Charlie Kirk, this Tyler Robinson, his dad, as long as you continue to raise these monsters and saying boys will be boys and not getting them help or therapy or not seeing that they got issues even though they've had every privilege on the fucking planet in this country and others too, they still believe that they're aggrieved by something. And not to say mentally they can't be. They can be. Mental illness is a real thing. But do we think? Here's another thing. They have yet to say this kid had mental issues. That's the first thing they usually say when it's a white person killing somebody. Mental issues. I haven't heard it yet. Maybe you have. That right there said to me, boy, you in trouble. They ain't even trying to give you the mental illness escape. They trying to get you. You better get a good lawyer. I mean a good one, because they ain't even gave you an out clause that they give to every white killer. Dylan Roof, mental issues. I mean, you may end up having that as your defense, but I'm talking about before your defense on the news and everywhere else. These people have mental health issues. Every time they see a white boy, mental health issues. Every time they see somebody black, must have been raised in a bad family. Must be this. He must have been a criminal. Look at his record and see if he had a police record. They don't think anything about he could have a mental health issue. Trust and believe. So he ain't even got that out. They treating you like you black, and that's scary. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's gonna be scary for you. If they don't come up with this crazy clause soon, they gonna try and hit you up for the real death penalty. You heard something, Dareth Ross? I haven't heard it yet, so I may be off, Dareth. I haven't heard it. I've been listening throughout the day, but there's times I was at work that I didn't get a chance to listen. So if they gave it to him, then he's more likely to, and I ain't gonna say get off, but he's more likely to get less of a penalty. But I know I haven't heard that mental health issue at all in the past few days. That I was like, they haven't said it yet. I've been trying to wait for it on different news. I'm like, wait, when they gonna say it? When they gonna hit us with it? I lie not. I understand the protocols. I've seen it throughout my life. And I mean, at some point in time, they're gonna say he's got mental issues, that it's a mental health issue. As soon, and I hadn't seen it yet. It's usually like rampant, almost immediately when they find out it's a white person. That's the news runs it 24/7 almost. You see every time you see that story, could be possible mental health issues. And we got to work on this. Then they have a mental health expert on talking about, well, what do we do when people have mental health? And you're sitting there like, we don't know the boy crazy. He could just be angry. Why you already going crazy? But you don't see it with people of color. There's no person coming on talking about mental health issues. There ain't none of that. So just want you to know. And took to jail. They handcuffed you there and on the ride home with his mom with a bazooka on her shoulder. Right, Scott 63? I showed it. I didn't see the whole picture. I just saw him with a bazooka on his shoulder. I didn't know it was with his mom. But yeah. Yeah, if you taller than 5'7" or 8 in the back seat of a police car, you ain't got no room for your knees. None whatsoever. I've been pulled over so many times and let go. But so many times they don't threw me in. I'm like, dude, it wasn't me. I wasn't driving in that area. I don't have the same color car you talking about. Why am I in the back of your vehicle? And then they went, well, turns out it wasn't you. I'm like, no shit. But I done been in the back of a bunch of them. And ain't did jack. Growing up, it was crazy. I grew up in Indiana, so it was highly racist. I mean, if it was a black person that was being looked for, most black people stayed at home. Like, yeah, they're looking for a black person. I'm going to stay at the crib. I'm go out and party? Nah, I'm straight. There's somebody out and loose. And he black? I'm out. I'm going to go take a nap. I ain't getting nowhere near that. Yeah, it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy out here. But yeah, I'm about to get up out here. I got another show for my music show, and I got to get set up for that. It's 7:53. I'm probably going to get there around 8:30 if anybody goes to that show. That's on YouTube, Straight Facts 23, Mr. Straight Facts 23. But before I go, I made a little something. For this show is all about MAGA deserves a rebrand, and I'm gonna do it at the end. Like this is what I'm gonna rebrand them. Yeah, Streets Block. Yeah, so I'm gonna rebrand them right now. And what MAGA is not make America great again. After this situation and them telling, we got the death penalty, and then all of a sudden they find it's one of them. Well, we got to follow our better angels and, God, and we got to stop looking at our phones and, go outside and touch some grass and all of this shit. Once you find it's one of yours, you're all like, you got this pastor, preacher type of attitude and you're bringing up God and all that when you find out it's one of yours. So you had forgiveness for one of yours. You wanted to murder if you thought it was one of ours. And I ain't talking about black. I'm talking about liberal or Democrat, different thought process. And then this one right here, he's talking about, even though we have different thought processes, we got to be able to find our better angels. I'm saying, okay, but you was ready to kill it, whatever it was, man, woman, child, dog, whatever shot, He was ready to kill it last time. This one he didn't mention. Even when he mentioned the killer, he didn't even call him a killer. It was nice words about this boy, the one who killed him. No, the murderer, the alleged killer, the thug. Where was the adjectives to give him a bad name? I mean, this is a murderer on the loose. And I mean, if he had been black, he had already been a thug, a gang member. You would have looked up that he slapped his mama when he was 5 because she didn't give him a sucker. You've been on everything dirty. He cussed out his pastor when he was 12. All that would have been down. They didn't give this dude a name. They would have gave him a name already. If he was black, he'd be like, the white killer, or, the Charlie Kirk massacre assassinator, something. No name for this boy once they find out who he is. He hasn't got a label. He got away. Right? Nothing. But they would have gave a black or Latin person a hell of a name. And they would have blamed everybody in that race. If this had been a Latin person that killed him, oh my God, Latin people, your life would be complete hell 7 hours after they said it was a Latin person. You would have been found mass killings all over the place. But what happened? They out here killing our people. I saw them looking at my girl. I had to take them out. But now it's one of them. Mum's the fucking word. Even I watched the news after, later on, before I went live, they have a little segment about this and moved on to some other shit. And I was like, say what? Just a few minutes. And they didn't even show no footage. They didn't even show the boy's face. I was like, how the hell you want to watch this whole segment and you didn't show the boy? Maybe you don't want to show him, but then they didn't even show Charlie Kirk or nobody. I was like, wow, you're just talking about it with a couple people. You didn't even show no video. You just mentioned it and read an article. That was crazy. Had he been black, that shit would have been plastered all over the place. Dun, 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 dun. Black guy kills Charlie Kirk. Blah, 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 blah. 35 minutes before you hit a commercial. No doubt. I appreciate you too, GJ. I see you guys. I'm about to go, but I wanted to give y'all guys what I believe MAGA should stand for now. Morals and God absent. Morals and God absent. Did I say it again? Morals and God absent. You have no morality. You sat there and blamed people for shit that you did, your people did, and when you found out it was yours, you didn't take responsibility. Nancy Mace, the governor of Utah, Kash Patel, Donald Trump, all y'all, you guys have no morals. It is your doing. The ideology behind Republicans gave birth to this little bastard that killed the other little bastard. They both had the same privilege. And both of them are right in hell at this moment, rotten for the type of people they were. You didn't have God in your life because we knew you had no space for nobody else. You only had space for people who believed like you. And the only thing that you thought about anybody else that didn't believe like you, that something was wrong with them, as far as like, oh, okay, you wanted to get rid of gay people in a certain sense at one point. You didn't like gay people, yet though your party's filled with them. Trans people, you got an issue with who they are. And it's like, dude, what is it of your business who the fuck they are? You're not sleeping with them. You're not living with them. Who cares? But no, you got no space for them. That means you got no space in your heart because God created that child just like he created you. He did not create you better or worse. He created you the same. But you can't see that. So I know that God is not in your life. How can he be there when you can't see God in every child and all you see is what you hate of yourself? Because you guys are filled with projection. So how do you have God in your life? You don't. Because ain't nothing in that Bible you can recite that is a part of your spirit. Maybe the devilish parts of it. But the ones where God said, good Samaritan, where is that at? The one that says, love thyself like they love thy neighbor like they love thyself, where's that at? People like me get mad at y'all because why? Because you never live up to your morals. You don't have any. You never live up to what you say your morals are. You always lie. You never tell the truth. And when you do, it's always jaded. You never take responsibility. You're never accountable, but you're always telling everybody else that they're supposed to be responsible and accountable. You're not fiscally conservative. You spend more than you actually fucking make, and you actually make money off of debt. So you're not responsible. You're not accountable, and you're not of God. There's nothing in that Bible that resembles or you can look at and say, MAGA's like that. Nothing. All the good stuff in that Bible, you can't find yourself in it. So he's absent. You bring his name up, but you don't live nothing like him. You're always trying to control people and tell them the way they're supposed to be, instead of let them being who they are and working with them. You're right now trying to take over the entire government, becoming a fascist state because you can't stand that other people should have the same rights as you. It's a reason why Republicans are the ones that caused the coup, because it is you that lacks morals and God. It is you, and the name fits. Morals and God absent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, again, I always wait late to put up how you can support me, because most of the time the supporting part for me is just being here, I guess, and I just don't really do it. But it's all right. I put it there at the end. If you find it in your heart to do it, do it. If not, not. I get it. But I'm always be here with the facts because that's what I love. I'm always going to give it the way I give it because that's who I am. I don't try to sugarcoat shit. I'm not going to lie to you. There's no reason. I don't benefit from it. The only thing I benefit from and my spirit lives on, like being me. I don't have no boss telling me how to speak, what not to speak. You know, YouTube sometimes try to tell me what I can and cannot do, but hey, I follow the rules as much as I can. But I'm going to be myself until I die. And if you don't like it, tune off. But I tell the truth. Keep looking out for my solution show, Avid Solutionist, because when I give you these facts and I cuss you out sometimes, it ain't because I love you. I want you to be right. I want you to be just as educated about the world as everybody else is. I'm not trying to be smarter than anybody else. I love when you guys give me information. Hell, I forget people's names. It's part of being 54. I forget people's names, but I know who the fuck I'm talking about. But it happens. We all are flawed. I will admit that. We're all flawed. It's all about working hard to get the right thing out there. It's all about being truthful. Of course, you can have feelings about the facts, but your feelings about lies, I say fuck them. Because lies and feelings about them is senseless. Because there's no reason to have a feeling about a lie. It ain't real. It's fantasy. Wake the fuck up already and deal with reality. How you gonna fix something that ain't even there? It's thin air, right? That's the way I look at it. But anyway, you guys have a great night. Y'all be safe. Much love to y'all. I'll see you next week. Y'all have a good weekend. I don't really do weekend shows, but one day I'm gonna step up on the weekend and say something to y'all. But other than that, you know how it is. I'll see you when I see you.